As night falls to cover the area in darkness, we hear a broken record going ah, ah, ah. Now don't mind me doing my best anime crow impression, since the sounds can be heard from a mile away. Regardless, using our sussy detective skills, we are able to pinpoint where the sound is coming from, and it happens to emanate from something with a double big whopper. After a brief moment of silence, something I show speed could never do, the Fire Nation attacks as the hidden bro begins to help the lady channel his inner Spider-Man mode. Eventually, we hear the climax of the story, so our mysterious Spider-Man removes his cosplay while still showing off his drip as he wants to transform into Clark Kent. However, the turntables turn as Bro mentions he's about to destroy a buffet in front of him, and let's just say our boy isn't turning into a zombie anytime soon. But to make do with his promises, he readies to whip out his prepared battering ram to make sure he's able to open up the gates in front of him. Suddenly, right before our boy has got his revenge, we get a flashback straight to exactly 1 month ago when he gets a message from his boss. It's then revealed that the mysterious man from earlier is named Do-hoon, and it looks like he lives true to his name. We also learn that Do-hoon actually had to drop out of high school because of a girl that kept making fun of him for playing Roblox at 18. Luckily, after moving on to play Starfield, Bro got his life together and now he started to climb his way up in the corporate Barbie world. Nevertheless, his boss happens to be a bombshell, but the catch in every anime like this is the fact that the woman always embodies the saying of Asian don't raisin. Anyways, her name is Soi, and she's a rising star. But somehow she keeps pestering our boy to help her out during his days in office. Do-hoon doesn't mind though, as Bro always spaces out more than Juvia from Fairy Tail. But today is a different day as Bro actually gets caught lacking because his mind was busy wavering due to his Pop-Tarts ready to burst. However, it turns out Soi is actually a special agent from the sussy Fire Nation. So she attacks with her double Big Mac straight on with no regard for his banana tree plantation. She then backs off and smiles like a true demon queen, trying to entice her future followers with an amazing display of power. Nonetheless, she continues by happily inviting Do-hoon to a gathering to commemorate his 1-year anniversary at the company, as it's apparently much deserved. But just as we thought we were about to get to the finish line, Soi also comes closer to place a bottle into our boy's pockets. Now it's starting to seem like this boss wants more than productivity out of him. Nevertheless, she waves goodbye and informs Do-hoon to come to a meeting later today, as Bro is now stuck in a project with just her and no one else. So let's fast forward past the first meeting as nothing really happens. But the only thing that happens is Soi alerting Do-hoon that from now on, the two of them will be working overtime together until the foreseeable future. Of course, our boy has no problem with that, especially his little battle axe, as his mind can only wander into the deep end of the sussy ocean. Luckily, Do-hoon actually has a morale compass and decides not to advance his war with the Fire Nation, so he just wishes his boss good night. He then leaves the company lobby, but he runs into a girl who quickly steals his attention as she's looking fresh like the drink Prime. After realizing that it's probably his boss's daughter looking lost, he decides to go help her out as maybe he could win some more brownie points. Unfortunately, just as he was about to introduce himself, he catches a glimpse of her face, causing his anxiety to roll in like the Autobots. It's then revealed that Do-hoon's daughter happens to be Somi, the same girl that tormented him in high school, causing him to drop out. Now let's be real, she kinda be a 3 out of 10 looking like an extra from Kakegurui, so no wonder she resorted to being a bully. In high school, she would do things like pour milk on him every day, and then order him to taste her Wonder toes in front of everyone, but me personally, I'm not letting that slide, but that's just me though. Anyways, here we are in the present, where Bro is finally feeling like he's light Yagami ready to invoke some justice. But boy do I think it's a little bit too late. Suddenly, just as he was about to write her name on his clap note, Soi arrives to greet her daughter. It was at this very moment Do-hoon's suspicions were confirmed, and somehow Somi looks like her sister. And off in the darkness, our boy lurks harder than my team's duelist, looking like he's about to enter his main villain arc as his past begins to roll tide and harder than the state of Alabama. So now Do-hoon has his eyes fully set on making sure Retribution comes swift and quick, as he can only hear the rumbling due to binging attack on Titan lately. Our boy then gives off some crazy eye vibes as he celebrates, realizing that his life mission now is to make sure he takes something valuable from Somi, just like she did to him when they were younger. And who exactly is the most valuable to Somi? Well, it just so happens to be his boss, Soi, who's lately been showing off her pizza stuffed crust to our boy more often. So fast forward the next day, Soi begins to get super exhausted as over time every day has been taking a toll, but she takes a moment and hopes Do-hoon is faring better. So speak of the devil, as soon as Soi was thinking about him, Bro shows up out of nowhere and asks Soi if she would love to get coffee together right now. As such, he pours her a cup like a true gentleman, But we all know he's vying to make sure he gets into the back seat of the dump truck beside him. So he then gets flustered as she gets caught staring into Mr. Chad, so she decides to order the double down from KFC and begins to compliment our boy for working out. We then find out bro actually has put some points in his Riz level, since he asks if she would like to be enlightened by the anatomy of a strong working man. After hesitating for a bit and checking to make sure no one is around, she decides to actually go for the offer and completes it while totally flustered. So he then snaps back to reality and quickly wonders what the heck she's doing, causing her to accidentally spill freshly brewed coffee. Luckily for both of them though, Sobi suddenly losing balance ends up with the coffee landing on our boy, and somehow he's not shrieking about how hot the coffee is. Instead, bro just acts all cool and collected as he's busy watching his boss drop to their knees to fix their mistake. Clearly, there's not much to do when it's a coffee stain, but Sobi stammers and tries her best to fix the situation. With Sobi scrambling to wipe away her mistakes, Do-hoon continues to stare her down like it's some kind of Mexican standoff. And I guess the first one to flinch loses and gets to be clapped and destroyed like no tomorrow. Elsewhere, we learn that Somi now works at a place that rhymes with Starbucks, and boys just love showing up due to her always being there. Now, good thing she grew up from her high school days, as it looks like that's the only thing going for her now, and you can probably find her on videos asking if the girl had a glow up or glow down compilation. Regardless, it's revealed that Do-hoon has kept tabs on his arch nemesis, so he passes by the Starbucks store every day, hoping to clap back one day. To be honest though, bro is such a wimp for not doing anything. And now he's trying to avoid confrontation and is busy holding a grudge like he's some kind of Walmart Dio. So now our boy is trying to make sure she can never live a normal life again, as he thinks being the stepdad is the best solution in all of this. Now fast forward back to the last day of their work project, where Do-hoon has decided today will be the day he enters the gates of paradise. Our boy's eyes then disappear, so you know things are about to get real quick, where we also find out that he's the one that turned off the lights before I did my crow imitation earlier. Nevertheless, as Soi asks what happened to the lights, Do-hoon closes the gap behind Soi like a professional Apex Legends player in one small move. Our boy then decides to risk it all as he quickly activates his skill rock hard right behind his boss, allowing him to show his true intentions. However, it seems like Soi didn't mind, as she ends up not saying anything about our boy's Geodude right behind her Bulbasaur. And so Do-hoon thinks he has a green light to continue on his adventure quest, hoping that today will be the day his long con will get him rewarded. Unfortunately, bro pushed his army way too far forward as his battering rams almost breach all the way into the walled-off gates for the city of Sohi, so she mumbles how bro is too close. This causes Do-hoon to start thinking twice about his turn, but then it dawns on him he can't stop his quest now, as Somi deserves everything coming towards her way. So in an instant, bro levels up to 69 to hit the gritty, allowing him to gain the courage to continue on with his plan. Surprisingly, Sohi could only softly mumble Mr. Do-hoon over and over, until she found herself on top of a desk, already ready to rumble as her river turned into a waterfall. It was at this very moment our boy knew there was no going back now, as he's about to finish off the boss fight he's prepared all month for. And so the sussy Fire Nation attacks without holding back any fire-bending powers, as it's super easy to break through very wet arenas. Our boy's face then lights up as he can't believe his plan is working, and Soi is even enjoying herself throughout this ordeal. Unfortunately, just as he was about to fully breach the walls with his satchel, he gets ganked away by Sohi, as it turns out she was playing as Castle, where she placed armor panels behind since she's in our 6 sweaty. Sohi then angrily gets up and alerts our boy that he can't do this, so now Do-hoon will forever wonder about mixed signals stemming from a girl. Surprisingly though, Do-hoon is unfazed about what Soi just said, so he attempts to convince her that he's a FaZe clan member, so phase up baby. Sadly, that line didn't work on her this time, so she orders him to stop spewing nonsense, as what's happening right now is something that only happens in anime reclapping. But this is where things get even more interesting, as Do-hoon decides to pick up a pen nearby, where he attempts to call the bluff of his boss. So now he decides to wield the pen in a way we never expected, as Do-hoon tries to blow up some pumpkins primed for Halloween with quick yet accurate pokes. Now don't ask me why, but for some reason, his sussy attacks actually works, and I have no idea where bro got it from. Regardless, things actually proceed again, where the two try to level up their power level over 9,000, but Soi decides to get up to stop the action movie from continuing. And like a true wishy-washy person, she decides to leave the room and tells our boy that it's impossible for her like him again after everything that transpired. As such, she commands Do-hoon to clean up the room and to make sure to leave after she goes first, just to make sure no one thinks something suspicious occurred. However, just as Soi was about to open the door, Do-hoon pulls off a mega gank to stop Soi from leaving. Now with the boss's back against the wall, it's revealed that Zoe's true inner thoughts is causing her to tremble as her waterfall keeps on leaking. As such, our boy has successfully called her bluff as Zoe continues to turn red more than my tulips, where she even allows Do-hoon to continue his quest. With the green signal now lit once again, Bro decides to gain some experience points to level up as he finally rips away the armor of Zoe piece by piece. After Zoe's defensive rating drops to 0, Bro whips out his impatient battle axe, causing Zoe to instantly assume drinking stance. And so the rest was history, as Do-hoon's plan has come to fruition, all thanks to Zoe absolutely craving the brand new banana-flavored milk tea.